today's tool is emptying the mind. Now, this one's a little tricky. It takes practice. So if you are not willing to dedicate at least 5 minutes daily or start to incorporate this every other day until it becomes a consistent practice, you will get nowhere with it. I'll just be honest with you on this, is that this is something that you have to keep putting yourself in that same environment in order for you to create this separation from the thought train. That's what we call it's emptying the mind. And this is my version or step one for anyone that's looking to have a little bit more control over their thoughts and overall consciousness. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit comfortably. You could lie down as long as it doesn't put you into a sleep state or gets you tired, but sit in a comfortable chair. And what you want to do is you just want to close your eyes and you want to bring your attention to your breathing. You don't have to control your breathing or do some random cadence. Just sit there, eyes closed, and focus on and bring all of your attention to your breathing. Okay? Now, what's going to happen is you're going to have to practice noticing. Every time you notice that your mind has run off with a random stream of thoughts, I want you just to notice that current thought that you're experiencing and then bring yourself back to the breath. Now, I will take this part and say you may run into this for 5 minutes straight, 10 minutes straight, however long you want to practice this. You do 5 minutes. That way you're not dedicating hours and hours and maybe getting frustrated if you don't feel progress. 5 minutes is enough for you to plant a seed and allow you to start to separate from the thought trains. But this is where you're going to end up for some time. So be patient with it and understand you will get to a point where you're going to get to this second part of this mind control. Now, as you practice this process, you'll notice that every time your thoughts drift you off and it gets, we'll call it distracts you from the breath, and you bring yourself back, that's a repetition. And you'll notice you'll be able to stay with your breath longer and longer. There's going to become a point of time where you will be able to stay in attention with your breathing, and you'll be able to observe. Now, the moment you feel like you can observe the thoughts, and I want you to think of this as, let's just say you're standing on a bridge over a freeway of traffic, right? And all of the cars going down the freeway are independent thoughts. And if you notice on any type of highway, freeway, anything with cars driving on it, you'll have a big influx of a bunch of cars, like groups, and then you'll see brakes. And then another group brakes. Now, just imagine that at the very beginning of this, you have a ton of cars. A huge group of thoughts are coming through. I want you just to watch and observe that they pass by. And then what starts to happen is you start to see some bigger gaps to where there's not as many thoughts, but there'll be smaller groups, less thoughts, a little more calming, not so intense. And then over time, you're going to start getting one car or one thought at a time until we get to this place where all of the noise and all of the chaos comes to a calm standstill. Now, you're never going to get to the point where you're not thinking at all. Consciousness can't do that. You always have something on the mind, right? But this practice alone will get you to a point to where you're able to detach from the thought processes, and it's going to allow you to become the observer in your environment. And this is a simple yet maybe frustrating tool at first, but get to this point so that you can now dive into deeper levels of tools and consciousness along your journey.